Do you have? So that was our buy lows. Do you have a sell high for us this week, Josiah?
Yeah, let's move to sell high. I'm going to bring up one. We've brought him up in the past, but I'm going to bring him up again, and it's Cordero Patterson.
Patterson, sell him high.
Yep. And here's why I think Cordero Patterson is still a good sell high. He had a pretty good game last week, right? Scored like 12 points.
Yeah, 13.1 fantasy points.
But Calvin Ridley missed like the first 2 or 3 weeks leading up to last week.
Right.
And since Ridley came back and Gage, they were both out. And now they're both back, and Patterson had like 1 target last week.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're telling me Patterson is not going to get any targets, I can't see how it's sustainable what he's done in the past.
Right.
The only reason why Patterson was somewhat interesting to me before is because I'm like, man, he's getting 12 carries and 8 targets. But now it's just going to be like 12 carries and 1 target. That's not even close to as valuable.
Well, he had 5 targets last week, pulling it up now.
Okay.
But he caught 2 of them for a total of 1 yard.
Yeah, they were all behind the line of scrimmage passes too. So, I mean, he was filling in for Ridley and Gage in the past 2 or 3 weeks as a receiver, and when they're healthy, he's not going to do that anymore. I mean, he might catch a few balls behind the line of scrimmage, like we said, but he's not going to be a consistent fantasy scorer going forward.
No, I don't feel like he's like a couple week winner. Like he'll get you a couple wins in the past weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he's going to be a season winner.
Nope.
In fact, he scored 14.9 week 5, 13.1 week 7 after the bye, and I don't feel like it's gonna. I feel like that it's going to just get worse from there at some point. Like whenever he was available in our league, I just ignored him because I didn't see him being. He's been in the league so long, he's never done this before.
No, right.
Never done this before.
I don't know why it would just like all of a sudden he's 33 years old and now he's a stud.
Yeah, it doesn't. Is he 33? Is that
he's old? Yeah, he's at
33.
I know he's
years
in his 30s.
old.
I know he's in his 30s.
Dear God, and he's 95% owned across ESPN leagues, and that had to all happen within the last few weeks. I feel like that's a solid. If there is value there, if people are still thinking that he's going to be consistent with what he's been doing, then sell high for sure. Yeah, like go get yourself, if you're stacked at running back, go get yourself a stud wide receiver, or to send him to someone who's hurting at running back, because someone's got to be. We lost Miles Sanders. I feel like we lost someone else.
There's always somebody in your league that needs running backs.
There's always going to be someone that needs a running back, and if they can't get their hands on Gainwell this week, then try to sell him Cordero Patterson.
Yep, perfect.
So,
what about you? You got a good sell high?
Sell high. Let's see here. Let me pull up the list here. I had someone earlier. It slipped my mind. I
can give one more if you want.
Yeah, give one more.
So my other one is Damian Harris, the running back with New England Patriots. And he's had a good couple weeks the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect time to sell him because you should never trust a Bill Belichick running back.
Right, exactly. Ever.
And if he ever puts up a few good weeks, sell him while you can because he might get cut from the team next week.
That's right. Who was that? That was Jonah Hill. Was that? Do you remember that running back? He had like a
Jonas Gray. That was a while back, but
Jonas Gray had like a monster,
it's
like
just
millionaire
always been
maker.
That way. It's always been that way
stat.
with New England running backs.
And he got let go the next week.
Yeah.
Jonas Gray. That's
it was
right.
like that with like LeGarrette Blount throughout his career.
Yep.
He would have like some monster weeks, and then the next week not get a carry.
Right.
I'm like, it's just not worth it to me.
No,
I don't.
You
I don't
can't
want to
rely
take
on
the chance of having
New
0
England
points.
running back. I never draft them because that's how I feel. It's like,
Damian
you never
Harris
know
has
what's
looked
gonna
pretty
happen.
good the last few weeks. Sell him while you can still get something for him.
Yeah, especially
after
after this
something
week.
else.
Especially after this week, Damian Harris. He had I think what
and the guy's been battling injuries all year. He could just get hurt and not even have to deal with Bill Belichick's wrath.
Yeah, it's. I feel like that's a great sell high. Damian Harris. He had 24.3 fantasy points this week, 14 carried, 2 touchdowns, and 2 targets, 2 receptions, 7 yards. That's like the best you're going to get out of him is how I feel.
Oh, yeah, it's
like,
the best.
This is a great
And the worst is 0.
Great week. Yeah.
He could put up 0 points next week.
He could.
In your starting lineup, 0 points.
Is a great
That's just
week,
how it goes.
A great week to unload Damian Harris because if you've been watching Bill Belichick at all, you know that running backs.
Yeah, no doubt.
None of them are sustainable long term. Just look at Sony Michel, or what's his name?
Sony Michel, yeah.
Sony Michel, yeah. Like, he's gone. He's gone. Everyone was hyping him up for a very long time, and now he's somewhere where he's irrelevant as of right. My sell high would probably have to be. I would go with Justin Jefferson.
Really?
Yeah. I've
coming
never been
off a bye.
Coming off a bye, or I guess he was on a bye. But I'm looking at the wide receiver points, the list here. He's at about like 18, something like that. Everyone else I really like that's in this list. Even Deebo Samuels, I wasn't very high on him, but he keeps producing numbers to where I feel like he's going to sustain it. Maybe Mike Williams is a sell high. I'm not sure. He's had a pretty fluctuated couple weeks where he scored 30 points, 1 point, 20 points, 3 points.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard for me. I don't know. I feel like if I feel like Justin Jefferson, maybe. I feel I can. I don't think. I don't like him. I don't know. I guess I don't have a really good reason.
Do you just feel like Adam Thielen's going to be better? Or do you feel like they're just going to run the ball too much? Or
I feel like, we've been missing Dalvin Cook a couple weeks here. And he's starting to be healthy now, and a lot of the points are going to go to him, especially coming off a bye. I feel like Justin Jefferson is a good speculative sell-high target. So
I'll just say if you're in a dynasty league, I wouldn't sell Justin Jefferson.
I don't know.
I think long-term he's going to be good for a long time.
I don't know. I don't like Justin Jefferson.
If you can sell him this year and get a good return for him, I don't hate it. Just because I do think they are going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I feel like they're going to run the ball a lot, and
Adam Thielen gets his.
Adam
Thielen
Thielen gets his,
and
so it kind of feels like a scenario where you don't know when he's going to be good and when he's not going to be good. I mean, he's done pretty good so far this season. 10 points, 15 points, 22, 17, 15, 10. And his targets have all been there, but I feel like it's going to – but also Dalvin Cook's been out a lot of those weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like either one of the Minnesota wide receivers, I would probably say it's a good sell high, especially if Dalvin Cook comes back and is healthy for the rest of the season, which it looks like he's good to go this next week. So
yeah, I think Cook will be good to go.
So that's pretty much my sell high would be just
Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. Either
or
one. Or
Adam Thielen. Yeah. I mean, if you hate both, you might as well sell Justin Jefferson.
Right.
You're going to get a lot more for it.
Right. So that's where I stand there.
Well, I got one more that we can talk about for a minute, and I think we've actually mentioned his name before recently in previous weeks, but for me it's Mark Andrews. And
yes.
And a big reason is because, like we talked about earlier with the waiver wire, is Rashad Bateman. I think he's going to eat into Mark Andrews a lot. I mean, I think where Mark Andrews has thrived in the past is just the fact that Lamar Jackson had no one to throw to.
Right.
And so Mark Andrews is just there as the only option. But as the target tree in Baltimore grows, so now they got Marquise Brown a little bit, Rashad Bateman's coming on every week, that's going to come out of Mark Andrews. And I just don't think Mark Andrews is a really special talent.
Right.
I think he's okay. And, I mean, if you have to start him, you could do worse. But I would try to sell him because he's had some great weeks in the past. And I know there's someone out there in your league who will pay pretty good for him.
Right. He's one of the well-known tight end names. But his fantasy points, even with his fantasy points not producing this season like we would think they would, he's still like a household name that people will pay for. Yeah. He had 6.3 fantasy points this past week. He had 7 targets. 2 weeks ago in week 5, he had 36.2. Yeah, I feel like that's a good sell high target. I think at this point, like we've already said this, I would rather have Dallas Goedert than
I would rather have Goedert
than
Mark Andrews the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Shoot, if all you can do to get Dallas Goedert at this point is to trade Mark Andrews for him,
that's a win.
That's
a win for sure.
If that's all you can do to get him, just do it. It might feel bad right now, but you will not regret it.